do you choose? Are we going to have the split? We've seen the split jerseys with the Wyoming and the Bills, but are we going to see split jerseys of Bills and Broncos?
Mike, who are you rooting for?
Who do you think I'm rooting for?
How can you choose that? How can you choose that?
How can I not choose that?
You know who's going to be having that? Broncos fans are going to have plenty of wine after this weekend.
This week, I'm calling a 20-plus yard tush push.
A 20-plus yard tush push?
We saw an 8-yarder.
Get the hell out of here. We're not going to see a 20-yard
We're seeing first.
Now, Mike.
Now, Dirk.
Did you know we're at the Wagon Hound?
We are at Wagon Hound Wine Company in Cheyenne, Wyoming. They are wagging like a hound to give you the best wine that you can find. And, well, we will have some of that later. But for now,
you know who's going to be having that? Broncos fans are going to have plenty of wine after this weekend. Now, we just told our picks about how the Broncos are going to lose, and you took that too, right? We both have Bills.
I do.
So
you guys
we
are
have
both
the lone front range, fanboy over here that's picking the Broncos. And let's go through why I think the Broncos, although a good team, and we've said that a number of times, are going to lose. It's probably going to be number one because they don't give Adam Prentice enough carries. That's first number
Prentice
one. Remember, as long as he's involved in the offense, they are 12-0 this year. So if Peyton wants to be smart, he's going to first carry, hand it off to Prentice,
fullback dive,
seal the deal.
Lucky for you, Sean Payton stops in the Wagon Hound every now and then and dials up a couple plays for Adam Prentice.
Well, if he doesn't, he'll be at Wagon Hound. Basically,
he's here,
not having a good time.
He's over there off camera right now.
Yeah. All right, so let's go through the numbers. Last year, this is almost like a premonition of what was going to happen in 2026. Javonte Williams goes 7 carries for 29 yards. The leading rusher last year was Bo Nix on 4 carries, really 4 scrambles that went for 43 yards. That's the same story that's going to happen this week, even though the most vulnerable part of the Bills' defense is that running game. It's been gap issues all year, running left and right, but Harvey just hasn't gotten the job done. Yeah, he's scoring, 29% of the touchdowns for the Broncos, but a touchdown vulture like Willis McGahee doesn't win you games.
Why is Willis McGahee catching strays?
He was the ultimate touchdown vulture.
He had 1,000 yards rushing that year.
Maybe one year.
He did.
Okay, all right.
Do not touchdown vulture.
Okay, McGahee or Portis? Just
Portis.
Well, yeah, Portis, of course. But McGahee blew his knee out before he even got to the NFL.
All right. But on top of that, 471 yards of total offense by the Bills last year, Mike.
Yeah.
470. And
that was last year.
This is nearly the same defense, Mike. And that defense you could arguably say the defense was better last year. Surtain was healthier. I mean, he's fine coming into this game. I don't think. Here's the deal. Cook had 120 yards and a touchdown last year, too.
Yeah, but they were playing in front of a friendly crowd, and the crowd noise was not a factor. The altitude was not a factor. I mean, you're talking about a place that one road team has won in like the last, I don't even know how many months.
I agree that matters if they establish the run, but they have not proven to be effective all year in the running game.
But the Bills have not been proven effective to stop the run.
I know, it's like an immovable object version of unstoppable force, right?
Yeah. It's
like the exact opposite of that.
And Denver's defense is definitely priding itself on its pass defense, particularly in their defensive line. Only 1 sack shy of the 1984 Bears for sacks. So we're talking, and it's not just one guy. Like we're seeing contribution from Zach Allen.
Yeah.
He actually has 8 more quarterback hits than Myles Garrett, who's presumably, I think, going to be the defensive player of the year. Maybe not.
I think that's
a few other choices, but and we're seeing a lot. Like that defensive line is scary. However, the Bills are going to want to establish the run, and the Denver's been good on the run defense as well. It's going to be quite interesting.
The question mark there is Greenlaw, man.
He's playing.
Greenlaw's
playing. John Franklin Myers is playing. Remember that game, Hungry Hippos? That's what it's going to be with Josh Allen on Saturday.
Yeah, you know what? You know what that is? You're right. The analogy is correct. Hungry Hippos, and it's going to be 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards, 8 yards.
Last week we saw the very rare
not like that.
8-yard tush push, guys. We saw an 8-yard tush push. This year, this week, I'm calling a 20-plus yard tush push.
A 20-plus yard tush.
We saw an 8-yarder.
Get the hell out of here! We're not going to see a 20-yard.
We're seeing first down tush push.
Absolutely,
we could
not.
see an 80-yard.
First down.
First
we just
down,
run it every
80-yard
play.
tush push to establish the run. That's what Buffalo needs to do is to establish the run, and it's going to be an 80-yard
tush push is establishing
80-yard
the run.
tush push.
I'm going to take a different.
I'm saying 20-plus. It's going to be a ridiculous play.
No, this is absolutely insane. We're not talking about a 20-yard tush push. I'm going to throw out an X factor for this game that most people don't circle. Most
Adam
people
Prentice
will circle Adam Prentice.
No, most people aren't circling Adam.
Or they're circling
the Buford Sports Network has been, okay?
Or they're circling Josh Allen as the X factor. The actual X factor on who wins this game is Bo Nix.
Oh.
Hands down. I mean, if Bo Nix plays well or even reasonably well, the Broncos win this game.
Last year he played well though. He
had one throw.
No, he was 13 of 22. Yeah, it's obviously not that great. He only had 144 yards, but he had a touchdown, no interception. It was a clean game.
Play.
It was a clean game for him.
But the offense just hit.
Dude, that was the game that made everybody think his fantasy performance this year was going to be off the charts. Everybody thought he did such a good job in that wild card game last year that he was turning into a sophomore season of just being amazing.
No, I just think this. First of all, again, operating at home in front of a home crowd, it makes it a little bit tougher to jump the snap count. Denver goes with a inherent home field advantage in that situation, and in running Peyton's offense, it makes for a much.
And on that note with the home field, Sean Payton said something this week that I'm surprised nobody else has ever spoken to the media about. It's that, hey, fans, we don't want to get loud when they line up to the line of scrimmage, which is something that you always notice. Right. He said, be loud when they're in the huddle. And that's actually, it's fan IQ. I was talking about earlier how Philly, I think their fans contributed to that loss, booing so much with a lead.
They throw batteries?
You are part of the game as a fan. And Sean Payton calling that out there, I think that could be a big deal.
Now, here is an interesting variable, though. Seeing as how we were in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and the Wyoming folks might circle the Wagon Hound, if you will, they may show up in Denver in full force, and you might have 20 or 25,000 Bills fans who get into
25,000.
Dude,
that would not shock me. Wyoming is nearby.
That's the bigger question. If you're from the Front Range, who are
Cheyenne.
you? Like, if you are from Fort Collins North, okay, so you're not a CSU fan, because anybody in Weld County is not a CSU fan. They're a Wyoming fan.
UNC.
Anyways, I'm just
Go Bears.
Yeah, but all right. So let's say you're anything north of
Bears.
the alt exit or something like that. Who are you rooting for here?
Yeah,
is it a win-win or a lose-lose?
I think as far as watch parties and just around the area, it's going to be very interesting. Which side do you choose? Are we going to have the split? We've seen the split jerseys with Wyoming and the Bills, but are we going to see split jerseys of Bills and Broncos?
Mike, who are you rooting for?
Who do you think I'm rooting for?
How can you choose that?
How can I not choose that?
Why
would I turn my back on the
alma mater
Broncos?
with a chance to make a Super Bowl gauntlet run.
Why would I turn my back on the Broncos?
You know what? One of the first debates Mike and I ever had is, would a Wyoming quarterback, this was back in the day, maybe even in high school, would a Wyoming quarterback ever go first round in the NFL? And Mike's answer was, hell no.
Uniform, no. Yeah.
And he was wrong then, and he's wrong now about the Broncos winning.
Nope, the Broncos are taking it. You can take your double-sided jerseys and you can go.
I'm not supporting that, by the way. I'm just curious to see if there will be maybe some switching at halftime. Right. There may be some strange allegiances going on.
Real question, who's Haley rooting for?
Who's
a Broncos fan for life. Oh, yeah.
Well, depends on which Haley you're talking about here, but
Josh's wife.
No. I didn't know there were
we're on a first name basis,
Yeah. I know some Haleys, and they're rooting for the Broncos, and I'm rooting for some Cabernet Sauvignon.
Mike's got Haley's.
Oh my God, Mike.